Shakalaka, shakalaka, boom, shakalaka, shakalaka, boom. Hey, 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 yo. Hey, hey, yo. Hey, 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 yo. Yeah, ziggity boom, boom, oh. Hey, 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 yo. You ready?
I'm ready.
All right. Welcome, everyone, to the first segment of We Say Things. This is where you give us things to talk about, and then we say things about them. So, my name is Josh Owens.
Steve Slavo,
Dave Jackson,
and Jim Slavo.
Jim Slavo. All right, so this is the team. This is the panel for today. And we got a few things to talk about. First of all, we're sponsored today by the Bridge2Life Smart Card Fundraiser, which is an awesome project. A few weeks ago, I think we'll put a link in the description for the video, but a few weeks ago we did a outreach program with Bridge2Life Homeless Ministries out in Chicago, and so we went out and passed out some blankets. We passed out non-perishable food items, hats, gloves, scarves, all that kind of stuff. It was awesome. It was life-changing. We're going to be doing it again, but we're also partnering with them now on a fundraiser that will help them earn funds to do more of that. So basically, each purchase of a smart card is going to provide one full care package, which includes a blanket, hat, scarf, gloves, socks, non-perishable food items, and a hot meal.
Buy a smart card!
Yeah, so if you go to, we'll put a link in the description, but if you go to www.smartcardssavings.com/smartcard, that'll bring up the page. You can read the description. There's a video there on there too now of the outreach that we did. So you can get all your information there, and then you purchase a smart card. It's going to save you tons of money at different places, and you're going to be changing a life at the same time. So it's pretty cool.
Save money, change a life.
It's pretty cool. Every purchase does one full care package, so it's not bad at all.
Yeah, and also we're going to be, we've committed to taking one night a month at least.
Yes.
To also go out and like film some footage and actually get a chance to meet some of the people that are in need and actually pass out the care packages. And the one cool thing that we came up with is that when you buy a smart card, we'll literally tie your name to that care package.
Yeah.
So when we present it, we're going to say it's from Steve Slavo if he's the one who bought the smart card.
Yeah.
I'll buy a few of them.
There you go. There you go. But it's a cool program, and so yeah, stay tuned because we'll update you. We'll have some more footage and some photos and stuff like that of stuff that we're doing with them. But they're cool. They do it every Tuesday and Friday. If you want to get involved, they're on Facebook. It's the word Bridge2Life, all one word, Ministries on Facebook. Look them up. Maybe we'll put a link in the description for their Facebook page too.
And the guy that runs the program, his name is D, right?
His name is D, yeah.
Yeah, so he's been doing it for quite some time.
Long time.
Yeah. And
literally every Tuesday and Friday. I mean, especially in these like the cold weather and stuff like that, like you would think, they'd want to stay in, but
no, they're still out there. They were just out there the other day, one of the coldest nights of the winter. They were out there.
Yeah, I mean, the people that are out on the streets, like they don't get to go inside, So
I was blown away when you first told me about that and how a purchase of a smart card can provide so much to an individual.
Yeah.
And it's things that they actually need.
Yeah.
It's not just nonsense items. So
yeah, and it's literally it's literally a matter of life and death to some of these people. Like that's not an exaggeration at all. I mean,
I don't know if you guys heard, but they actually had one of their normal visitors that they would stop and see and provide food. He actually died the other day.
Yeah.
And they're not sure if it was a heart attack or if he froze to death, but this care package could make a world of difference.
Yeah, especially with, what is it, negative something outside today?
Probably negative 30 with the wind chill.
It's cold.
Yeah.
I remember I was in the garage last night, and I just prayed for people because I was in the garage, enclosed, and I was just thinking, man, it's so cold.
Don't you have a heated garage?
No, I don't.
Oh, okay.
It's not. I've got a heater in the garage.
Oh, well, they don't have that.
That don't work either.
Yeah.
It's crazy though. The night that we went out there, it was not near as cold as this. It must have been like 20-some degrees maybe at night, but even then, it was cold enough to be uncomfortable to stand outside for any length of time, let alone spend the night outside.
I couldn't imagine. So part of our cause to stand behind Bridge2Life and work with D is to really educate people on what a homeless person's life is like, and also too, I was opened up a little bit because I found out that a lot of the people that are in that situation my initial thought was always that it's because they just made real bad decisions. They were heavy into drugs or alcohol, and come to find out, a lot of these people either suffer from some type of mental illness that they really can't help, or they just fell on hard times and they just can't get back up.
Yeah.
So there's not necessarily, they didn't always do this to themselves. So we're going to educate. That's my goal, is go through this campaign, help raise some funds and educate people on why people are out there homeless and get to meet some of these really interesting people.
Yeah, and D, the guy that heads it up, told me that it's about half and half. It's not, it's the majority numbers are not even people that, just drank too much or got into drugs or whatever. It's like half and half. Some of these people, the guy I talked about, Frank, that I met, he lost his job, and then because he lost his job, his wife divorced him. He lost his house. Like, everything just kind of like piled up one after another, and like he said before he knew it, he was out on the street, and he had never asked for a dime in his life from people, and he was like having to ask people for money in order to live, like getting food to survive. And so he's been out there for 15 years now. And
that's crazy. But the sad thing is that I personally know dozens of people within the last couple of years that have lost their job, and they really hadn't had experience doing anything else. So now they're either stuck without a job or working at a place where they're not getting enough to even pay their bills.
Right.
It's a tragedy. So with this, again, buy a smart card. We can provide a care pack. The goal for me is to get knowledge, but also let's see if we can inspire some of these homeless people and help give them some things they need to help get them off the street.
Yeah. I mean, it literally is something that can happen to anybody. So,
which is what's scary. Especially in our economy, it's still unstable because they say getting better, but it's still companies are still putting people in the loss.
Yeah.
All the time.
Yeah. So being able to get people off the street would be cool.
Yeah.
Anyway, so check it out. We'll put some links in the description, and we'll keep you guys updated too.
Bridge2Life Fundraiser.
So it's good stuff. All right. First, what we're talking about is it's January 7th today? 6th? 8?
12th?
I don't like.
It's the 9th.
Yeah. So we're gonna talk about New Year's resolutions. I don't know who wants to start. We'll let Jim start. But it's a big deal to a lot of people. It's all anybody talks about for like 2 weeks before New Year's, and then you don't hear about it usually after that. So
it's more of a fun topic.
Yeah. So
trending topic.
It's a trending topic. You get hit on that. So it's kind of like when you're the team. If you guys are into sports, like I'm a huge Packers fan, and absolutely so is Steve. So, but it's kind of, I'm using an analogy. So it's kind of like sports, right? So it happens to a lot of people. Their sports team gets kicked out of the playoffs, and then they jump on the bandwagon for a few weeks.
Sorry, buddy. That'd be the Bears.
And I'm on nobody's bandwagon.
So give them some time.
I don't like cheese like that.
Well, the fact is that someone jumps on another team just because they want to be involved in something, right? Trending, right? Something big that's going on. So everybody talks about it. But that's it. It's just talk. So New Year's resolutions they're nonsense. I mean, I'm not saying they shouldn't be used, but I'm saying that most people don't get them. Like, if you're setting goals, it shouldn't start on January 1st and end probably January 7th or 9th.
I mean, the thing is you got to think about the goals that people are setting are goals that they should be doing most likely for themselves anyways. So they're not really setting the goal because of January 1st. They're setting the goal to make life changes. And unless that person is actually ready to do that, it ain't gonna happen.
So here's the question: if they were actually ready to do that, why wait till January 1st?
Exactly, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. So that's why it's a trending nonsense topic.
I think for a lot of people, it's the lack of planning, like saying I'm going to change this or I'm going to do something differently. But when they don't have it planned out on a day-to-day basis,
that's exactly
keep themselves motivated to go forward with it.
That's exactly.
Not seeing the immediate progress, people give up.
Yeah. Well, and that's exactly it. So I think we apparently are all on the same page about New Year's. Did none of us make New Year's resolutions?
My New Year's resolution is real simple. It's to travel to at least 2 other countries this year.
There you go. But you have a plan in place.
First year that I was able to leave the country, got to travel abroad. Wonderful experience.
You went to Dubai, right?
I went to Dubai for 2 weeks.
Sounds fantastic.
Did you meet the Kardashians?
I did not.
Did you look for them?
I did not. However, there are some very, very attractive women that are similarly built.
Okay, fair enough.
So ironically, again, so take New Year's resolutions and take the whole health aspect of it. So I personally know, I've done research on this in years past, the vast majority of gyms and health clubs, they get all their new members within January, February.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Not, and I would say all, but the vast majority of the memberships. And here's another interesting statistic is that a large portion of them, they come once or twice and they never come.
Yeah.
I think it's like
I used to be that guy.
87%.
That's why I work out.
That you went. You went once or
Sean
twice?
T25, focus. Big ups to Sean T. That dude helped you lose a lot of weight.
Don't show your abs, okay? It's not that kind of stuff.
knows that.
Yeah, see, like, I've only belonged to a gym one time in my life. And for the first, year, it was phenomenal. Because I had somebody to work out with.
Did you go for the week?
Yeah, I did.
Cool because
I actually
experience awesome.
Yeah, I had the membership for 2 years or something, 2.5 years. Until
the first year.
Until my bank was we're issuing you a new debit card because there was maybe fraudulent activity or something, and then they weren't able to get my money anymore.
They're like, wait a minute, sir.
Yeah.
Can you go to the
It's all pizza delivery and then a gym charge. And this does not make sense.
Seems to be some fraud on your account.
No, but it was cool. I had
your normal customer.
I had somebody to work out with, so it was cool. And I lost weight. I was doing really well, and then the guy that I was working out with moved away. And I can't motivate myself to go.
So this is
alone.
actually one of my topics. Is that if you're making a New Year's resolution, do not tie it to other people.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
If you can't control your results because someone else bails out, then you're not going to succeed. You got to base any goal you need to base that's going to be, I think, New Year's related. Should be self-help.
Yeah.
Right. So one of the things, and I'll throw this out there. So one of the things that I encourage everybody to do, go back to some of the goals you've already been working on and just renew them. Just go back to committing to those goals.
I don't agree with that. You can always set yourself new goals.
I'm not saying don't set any new, but don't set new goals if you still haven't accomplished and satisfied other goals, because guess what's going to happen to the other ones? If you don't finish one goal, how are you going to finish another goal?
That's an interesting way to look at it. I never looked at it like that.
So that's how I see it. So a lot of positivity, self-talk, always, pat yourself on the back for the things that you're doing good, and then good things will continue most of the time.
Yeah.
But if you're not crossing things off of the checklist, which Dave and I are both big on checklists.
Love checklists.
Goals are a checklist.
Structure.
Yeah, it's a checklist. So that's for sure. Renew your vows. That's what I'm saying. Renew your commitment.
To yourself.
Then Dave is renewing his bachelor card.
Yeah. That's where I'm at. That's where I'm at. So if there are any ladies out there,
plugging them.
we're available.
Steve's off the market. Steve's actually getting married later this year.
Steve is engaged.
Yes. To a great girl.
Which is good, because I feel like Steve would be competition. So I'm
He would definitely be competition.
Yeah.
I still might be competition.
I don't think Steve and I would ever butt heads because we have two compasses.
You guys have different demographics.
We do.
Yeah. So.
Oh no, we're gonna edit that out.
All right. So New Year's resolutions. I think basically what we're saying is there has to be some forethought and planning.
Yeah, or else it's not real.
We're in marketing. We'll call it your brand. What's your brand going to be this year? And then everything you do points back at your brand. So the way this is going to work, this is our first segment, okay? But the way this is going to work is we're going to have people, send us topics or questions that you want us to talk about. Mm-hmm. We're interesting people. We say interesting things. And and we have opinions. So, in case you haven't noticed.
Quite strong.
So, we're going to talk about things that you tell us to talk about. And I actually had a few submitted. I let a few people know that we're going to do this. So, I have a few submitted already. We're going to see how this goes. And when you see this, comment in the comment section below. Find us on Facebook. We'll put all the links on there. We'll probably mention them at the end. But, send us questions that you want us to talk about on We Say Things. That's the name of this
We Say Things.
Hashtag We Say Things. All right, and then we're going to say things about what you send us. So the number one question that we got, is...
Do we want to start with the first one, or do we want to roll it backwards?
Was this like a vote?
No. It's just I have a list. It's just number one on the list. So the first one I got is, what food would you suggest that a foreigner eats first when they come to the United States?
Popeyes.
So that was just right on the top of your head.
With the Cajun sparkle, you gotta get the Cajun sparkle. That's the key.
It's a Cajun sparkle.
That's a tough question.
Cajun sparkle.
The Cajun sparkle is amazing.
Cajun sparkle. It's amazing on everything.
I don't even know what that is.
It's a
That's what I'm
seasoning
talking
packet.
about.
It's a seasoning packet that Popeyes has.
Seasoning.
But you have to
And
ask for it.
You can literally put it
You
on
said
everything.
Popeyes,
Popeyes.
not pot pies.
No.
I thought you said pot pies.
Popeyes chicken.
I was like, it's a little boring, but okay. I think they have that in other countries,
I
maybe.
don't do Popeyes.
But okay, so your suggestion would be Popeyes.
That's
With
my
Cajun
favorite,
sparkle.
My favorite place to go with Cajun sparkle.
What exactly at Popeyes, or just all of it?
Anything with spicy.
All right.
So you go there and you say,
Spicy
give me some
tenders.
spicy, and they give you the sparkle kit?
The
No.
spicy
You
tenders.
have
You have to
Yeah,
ask for the
do you?
Cajun
Yeah.
sparkle.
It's a seasoning
It comes
packet.
in little packets that look like
You just
candy
rip it
wipes.
open and
Oh, okay.
Same
it's like
size.
putting
Yeah, but they
salt
always
and
keep
pepper
them
on it.
behind the counter. There's
That's
I've
a-
never
like,
seen one out there.
No kidding.
It's literally a seasoning packet.
No kidding. It's kind of like a crushed red pepper kind of packet or something.
Yeah, same thing. But if you don't ask for it,
I didn't even know that existed.
Go there today. We'll go there when we're done with this.
We
Come on now.
Popeyes
We can
is
go there
on the
for
smart
lunch.
card.
Popeyes
Yeah,
is on the
absolutely.
smart
Yeah.
card, as a matter of
I
fact.
use Smart Card all the time.
All right, so that's settled. Popeyes.
So, well, you know, that's a tough question for me because
Me too.
here in America, we have everything.
Yeah.
We have every different. I've tried so much food. You really got to know what country they're coming from and what type of food they already have there.
That's a good point.
To me, you know, I would have to know what are you used to already.
well,
I'm gonna tell you this.
Okay, what do you
I'm gonna
got?
tell you this. My to me, it doesn't get more American, any more American.
Say it.
Than
Say it.
because this is what we Americans like to do.
Say it.
We take food and then we stuff it inside other food. Right?
Yeah.
Chipotle.
So like,
See, I thought you were going with pizza.
freaking no.
Because I love pizza.
Well, unless you're like stuffing pizza inside of freaking
Chicago
something
stuffed
else.
pizza.
Okay, so we got
Pizza Puff.
yeah, so we got Taco
Actually,
Bell.
Pizza Puffs.
So we got Taco Bell, right? And their new thing was like they were stuffing like a taco inside of a quesadilla. Like food is not enough for us. We have to take food and stick it inside of other food, and then that's sometimes 2 or 3 times. We'll like inception food.
What kind of food are you eating?
For real.
Dude, the good stuff, man. That's what I'm talking
He
about.
says that. I think thanks for
I think like a calzone, like the best calzone in the
Yeah,
world.
like we just
described in my
freaking
Reddit
like
everything.
I saw
category.
there was like a deep fried cheeseburger that I saw like somewhere.
See what I'm saying? It's
Dude,
definitely not healthy.
look
That
the
sounds
KFC
so dangerous.
it is the KFC sandwich where they like
That
it's
sounds
not
like
even
a
The
bread.
double down, the double down.
It's not even bread. It's a chicken breast and then like all the
Yeah,
crap
it's
inside and then a
ham,
chicken
bacon,
breast.
sauce, and more.
And like you're not there's no
Have you
it's
ate-
just
you ate one of
food.
those?
Yeah.
Like what? Do you just hold
So
the chicken?
good. Yeah.
They wrap it up. It's wrapped
Yeah.
up like an
Okay,
In-N-Out
so-
burger is. So it's
okay.
wrapped around.
Look, if you're eating
there,
KFC, you're not probably worried about how messy it is anyway.
So here's my take on this. So the reality is, and for me, you come to America, I don't
You
really
try
know
anything.
American food.
Right.
Like, because everything, like we're all immigrants of one way or another, or we're all migrated from another country. So to me, what I love is the mom
From
and pop
Romania,
shops.
from Italy.
Roman Italiano, huh? But so the point is that you could go to just
You can go
whether it's a
eat.
local small little Greek restaurant, or whether it's a small little Italian restaurant, or a place called the Tandoor, which is an Indian restaurant.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact is, go somewhere where someone has had to blood, sweat, and tears to make it, and their love is in their food.
Next question is what and this is I'm excited actually to hear these responses.
And he's looking right at me.
What's the closest no, not necessarily, but what's the closest you've come to dying?
Oh man, I don't want to talk about that.
So
Y'all can go first.
there's like I know what mine is.
I know mine is too.
And I've told this story to a lot of people, but
I don't want to live it.
okay, I'm gonna go ahead and start because I feel like everybody needs to hear the story. Okay, so I went to college at a private Christian college, and so part of the deal there was I like to sing, and part of the deal was if you were not a freshman, if you were a sophomore or above, you could try out for these singing groups that would travel the country and recruit students, and so we would travel all over the place. So there was like 5 groups that would go out during the summer. So we traveled northwest, and we ended up traveling through Denver area, Chicago, Colorado, like Hot Springs, Denver area. And we saw a lot of cool stuff. Garden of the Gods and the Air Force Academy was there. Pikes Peak. Like, there's a ton of cool stuff in Colorado. It's beautiful. So we stopped at this church, which was where one of our concerts was. And the pastor there, like, would have groups from our college come pretty much every summer. And we got there, I think, a day and a half early, if I remember correctly. We had some time before the actual concert, like we had a couple down days. So we got in and got settled, and then he was telling us, he said, go ahead and sleep in a little bit tomorrow, and then I'm gonna take you guys on a hike, in the morning. So we're like, oh, that's cool. Like there's mountains around here. That's cool. Okay, so first thing you have to remember is we're like, a mile above sea level at the very least, like 5,000 feet above sea level. Like until if you have experienced that, you know what I'm talking about. But like
skydiving,
walking down the freaking street, like takes your breath away. Like if you live in the Midwest, like we do, like right at sea level, it's hard.
If you're outside today walking, don't take your breath away.
Yeah, no, don't do that. But it's like, like we're hardy Midwest people that live at sea level, and we don't like being too far above it. And so we're already like, things are weird, like carrying in our equipment and stuff like that. Like we're getting out of breath, like all of us feel out of shape. And we're like young college kids, super scrawny. Like we're not out of shape, but it's awful. Anyway, so he's taking us on this hike, and we're like, okay, that sounds cool. So all he says to us the night before is, wear sneakers, maybe like a pair of jeans, and like a light jacket, like a windbreaker jacket. And we're like, okay, cool. So like we get up the next day, we get ready, and he meets us up, and he says, I got a backpack for everyone. It's got like a granola bar, a sandwich, some water. Like, we'll stop at some point and eat. So we get there, right, and like. So we're driving like down this mountain road that's not really a road in this huge van, which is already like, it's already getting kind of crazy. So then we get out and it's beautiful. There's a lake and there's mountains all over the place and trees. So we start hiking and like we start up this hill. And as soon as we start up this hill, like we're all out of breath. It's crazy. Like we're not used to it. The pastor and his son-in-law and his daughter are just like, trucking up the mountain because they're all used to it. And we're like, so finally we get up to a ridge line. And we're like, we need to take a break. So we take a quick break, and we start walking again. Well, we walk like, 100, 200 yards down this ridge line. And all of a sudden, like, it gets real dark. Okay. There's clouds and, like, all kinds of stuff. And, like, there's thunder. You hear thunder in the background. And I swear to God, I heard the pastor say, oh, here it goes. And I'm like, what does that mean? What do you mean here it goes? Like, you expected this? And then as soon as he said that, like freaking snow and hail and rain and like all at the same time, just like, yeah, dude, it was like a huge storm. Dude, it was crazy. So then it's all coming down. We're on a ridgeline, so we have no protection, right? And then like lightning starts striking all around. Like I'm not. You're gonna tell us you got hit by lightning? I'm not exaggerating. Almost like 50 yards away from us. Like you could feel the static electricity in the air, and like it was like huge, bright like flashes, and then you could see like the smoke coming up from the ground from where it just struck. And so we're all like terrified. Like, what is happening? He knew it happened every day. Like every day this happens. Like during this 1 month or whatever. Like it's a common thing.
He's a jokester.
And he thought that we were going to be past it by the time all this happened, right? But we were like too slow because we're not used to this. So then we're like, oh well, we need to find some kind of shelter. So we like scurry down the ridgeline. It's all slippery. Like a while, like 30 or 45 minutes. Forever. Yeah, like I remember it lasted. That stuff I'm done. So we scurry down the ridgeline and find like rocks to hide underneath or whatever. Like there's still not much protection. I literally thought I was gonna die. Like literally, I'm not exaggerating any of this. I promise you. I remember thinking at one point, if I had a gun and 2 bullets, I would shoot the pastor and then myself. Like, I just wanted it to be over, but I wanted to end him before I ended myself. So finally it's over, right? Like this storm is over, and you would think like, okay, you know what? Like we tried, good game. Let's pack it up and we'll go home. No, the pastor goes, okay, you know what? We're already stopped. We might as well go ahead and eat, and then we'll continue. And we're like, continue? Well, he's like the only one that knows his way around here. Like, otherwise we're lost. So we can't like go back on our own.
Do what you had to do, huh?
Yeah, but now it's like slippery, and there's like.
You guys were probably drenched.
Yeah, and we're wearing jeans, and it's like freaking cold, and we're all soaked, and we have these light winter jackets on. he's got this freaking parka on.
He set you guys up for failure.
Seriously. So then we start back and we get back up on the ridge line, and then there was like this 200-foot rock like mountain wall that we had to climb to get up to like the peak where he wanted us to go. And it's like slippery, and I'm not. No, we had no climbing gear, and I swear to God,
climbing up the side of the mountain.
I tell people this all the time, and like I'm not exaggerating this. People think I'm exaggerating, but I promise you I'm not. There was like thousands of feet drops
you gotta look like
on either side, but yeah, I'm not like a wimp
you look like
or anything.
Guy, though.
I can be when I need to be, but like I was done that day.
I'm gonna tell you what, I've done the rock wall, like the Army be all you can be. I'm not doing that without a harness. I'm
it was
right now.
It was stupid.
But if you put a harness on me, I win every time. But
it was stupid.
Not very high.
And we literally somebody should have died that day. I'm not joking. Like the mountain is named. The mountain is named.
How many other trips like that did he take? How many lives has he almost?
We found out he did this every year to every group that came. I don't know why nobody ever said anything before this, but like we told people when we got back, like. People either he doesn't do that anymore or people don't go. Like this is crazy. Like
so we're starting the movement.
The mountain is named.
Trips with this guy.
The mountain is named Ritter's Peak, and it's named after the first guy that tried to climb it, and he died. Like
I wonder if he's in relation to that pastor.
I don't know. Anyway,
yeah.
So long story short, nobody died, but like. By all rights, somebody should have died that day. It was crazy. Like either by getting struck by lightning, or just falling off the mountain because we were climbing after like all this rain and snow and everything was slippery. Like we had sneakers and no gloves and like it was so. I'm bitter. I'm bitter at Pastor Alley.
Wow, he called him straight out.
Point him out.
Pastor Alley in Colorado, Denver area, Colorado. I almost died because of that.
And I've never seen him point anybody out.
I've seen him have any sort of hostility.
If anyone in my life I was bitter at, it's that man.
Okay, good.
Although it's given me like that's good like.
I'm
party.
sure you've learned a lot.
It's good party conversation.
Well, I was laughing.
I almost died once. Anyway, but it's a very intense moment, and I've had several since, but that's the closest. I literally thought I was going to die. Literally.
I will tell you what. I have an experience that I don't know if I actually ever even told you guys. I know I shared it with you. I think once.
Aren't you my brother?
Yeah.
That hurts.
Well,
I don't know this.
Well, it's I may have. So this happened. It's been probably. I don't know. It's been probably about 8 years or so. So my wife and I, we used to always love going to Manhattan, like up to New York. Love going to New York. Love Manhattan. So there was one time we went up there, and you guys all saw the movie Serendipity, right? Mm-hmm. Everybody seen Serendipity? Come on, John Cusack.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, no, I've never seen it.
Shut up. Okay, so all right, so in this movie scene, all right, so and it's a little older. But so in this movie, so these two couple they want to see if they're meant to be together. So in the movie, they go to the Waldorf Astoria Hotel in Manhattan, and there's like 100 floors or something or more than that. I mean, it's huge, right? So the whole goal is that in the movie they would go into the elevator. Of course, they've talked and they know each other somewhat, so they kind of know maybe like they didn't tell each other what numbers they're gonna pick, but based off of symbols that meaningful in their life they talked about. Anyway, they get in the elevator and they both press a button, and if they land on the same floor, then they say, okay, we're gonna make this work. If not, that's it. Don't call me, don't text me. Actually, they didn't have texting back then. Yeah. But don't call me. I don't know if they had email back then. Bottom line is, you're done. I'm done with you. You're dead to me. Okay.
Maybe I didn't see that. That sounds really dumb.
Says the Bachelor.
It's an extremely romantic.
It's a very romantic movie, and it's definitely a good one. But anyway, so
how many floors were in this place?
I forget, but there were a lot. But here's the kicker. So we watched the movie, and we're like, you know what? We're in Manhattan. Let's go do that. All right. Let's just see where we'd end up. Right. Well, we get
You must have picked the same floor.
Well, the reality is, she is still here, but the reality is you have to have a key card in order to get in the elevator, so you can't even try it. So anyway,
where they met was outside the elevator door.
I
tried it too. Landed on the same floor, nowhere.
So, well, here's the reality. We're like, okay, well, we're here. I'm starving, so let's just go get some food. So in the back of the Waldorf, there's a restaurant, very famous restaurant, Bull and Bear is what it's called, and they're all over a lot of the metro areas. So anyway, we go there, great restaurant. on the intro. Very nice. Either way, I love seafood. I ordered the salmon. They bring the salmon out. It tasted okay, but a little different. But I wasn't gonna complain. You know, it was like, all right, no big deal. You know, I don't want to ruin the mood, right, and say, oh, send this back. So anyway, so I ended up eating it. It was fantastic. I mean, I ate it all. It was great. But here's the problem. So the way that the foyer works, right? So the restaurant's in the back, and the lobby of this place is massive. Like, it's literally the size of a football field or so. So by the time I left the restaurant, started walking back to the front of the hotel, I made it halfway, and I'm literally like I'm seeing spots, like I'm dizzy. I'm like, I feel like I'm gonna faint, like drastic, right? I says, hey, sweetie, listen, there's some benches right here. I need to sit down for a minute. And she's like, oh my God, you know, she freaks out. Like, she's worried about every little detail anyway. So she's like, you don't look good. Like, your face is like completely white. Like, you look like death. And I'm like, okay, well, you know, at this point, I kind of half heard what she was saying, so maybe she didn't say exactly that, but either way, so I sit down on this bench, and like, I literally, like, I feel like I was there forever, and she's like, it's been a minute, you guys are ready to move now, and I'm like, I don't know if I can, like, literally, my body felt like it was shutting down. So we get out front. She actually had to ask someone to help kind of carry me out front, and we got in a taxi to go back to the hotel we were staying at. So we get back to the hotel and we get upstairs, and our room literally was like half the size of the set. Like, if you ever go to Manhattan, like, you literally, like, you get nothing. Wow. You know, but everybody knows that, right? You go into Manhattan. So anyway,
half the size of this.
It was honestly, it was about the size of this set, and then it was a rinky, tiny, dink little bathroom that I really don't know how they even fit a tub and a shower and a sink in it, but they did.
Very good.
Yeah, so I'll spare you guys the graphics.
So you're telling us she was really not sheltered at all from like what was happening with.
It was absolutely embarrassing to say the least. Okay, it was bad. It was horrible. So I get inside, and I'm at this point like I gotta throw up. And so get in the bathroom, and let's just say that when it came out more than one area, and it wasn't a little bit. Like, it wasn't enough to where I could even contain.
Sorry, it's
I'll tell you right now, I'm sparing the graphics, and you know what?
It's not funny, but it's funny.
It is funny. It's damn funny, but it's disgusting too.
Recording. Was that recording?
Now we are.
That would have been funny though.
All right, so magic. There's food on the table now. We had a battery die, so the shot probably looks a little different, and there's food on the table now, but we're good.
I thought everybody was just getting
so through the magic of editing.
I doubt that.
Yeah, through the magic of editing, we're back, and it's been but a moment to you.
Okay, so
Jen was about to tell us something real juicy.
Yeah, juicy is definitely part of the equation. So the near-death experience comes in just a second, but my wife was trying to help, which I was trying to kick her out because I was super embarrassed on what was happening, and I literally, she says I was slurring as if I was drunk, which I didn't drink anything.
At that point, you guys were married.
At that point, I wasn't married, so I was super embarrassed. I'd be embarrassed now too. We won't go into those topics, but I was. So anyway, so someone knocked on the door and said, "It sounds like someone is dying in here, and what's that smell?" It was pretty bad. And that's the last thing I remember before literally on the bathroom floor, I kid you not, could not have been as big as this table. That's how small the bathroom was, and I was laying right across it in everything. And then I passed out.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
So I woke up literally within, I don't know how long it was, but my wife says I was out for at least 3 or 5 minutes, and she literally thought I was dead. She literally thought I was dead. She actually called the police, and it was a pretty interesting situation. But the point of the story is, don't eat half salmon, half cooked salmon. Don't do it.
To help you.
Did you go to the hospital?
You know, I didn't because
that's why I never heard of this story. You were embarrassed. You didn't want to tell anybody.
I can't believe I actually just told it now, but I'm like,
you just told the world.
To everyone now.
You know what? It's good content. We love the viewers.
Yeah, there you go.
It's good content, but it is true. It's an absolute true story. So ever since that day, I think I've only eaten salmon twice, and that's a shame because I absolutely historically love salmon. But now I cook it myself. So So that was my near-death experience. Literally dead for 3 to 5 minutes.
That had to be something real bad too, for it to kick in
That
from the time you finish your meal
unbelievable.
before you got out the door.
It had to, seriously, it had to be some kind of salmonella, E. coli, something horrid. I did call them back, and I did find out, like my wife was like, you need to sue them. And I'm not, like, I don't want the drama. Like, I don't want to go through all that.
Yeah.
But they did say, well, sir, we'll actually refund your credit card. I'm choking up on it now because I'm so sad. No, but they refunded my meal, and they were hoping I was going to leave it at that, and I did.
My near-death experience, well, there's 1.5, I'd say, but it's pretty simple. I was doing working construction on the north side, and we were doing a roof, and it was one of those real tall pitch 4-story houses on the north side, and got to the point where it started raining. No, it was raining, so the day started out fine. We had everything tarped off because there's only like 2.5 feet between houses. And it started raining, so we had to rush back up the ladder to tarp everything off. To get back up the ladder, and as I'm trying to throw the tarp over the top of the pitch, I slipped all the way down to the last toe board, rolled over, and just held on for dear life. That point, once I got down to the bottom, never been up on another roof since then.
All I'm picturing is
That's all it takes for me. Yeah.
Well, never happened. So this was like 4 stories tall. I mean, like, there was an additional
Yeah, I was gonna say, if you're
on
like
the office building.
Yeah, if you're on the south side,
it was like a four flat.
Yeah.
One of those real long ones. And yeah, so if I recall,
No.
there was nothing but concrete.
Yeah, that would have been it.
That was it. And the other one was the jet ski. On the jet ski. I thought I might have died. For a little bit, I was like, you know what? Now I'm starting to see how people drown, because no matter how much I swam towards the jet ski to get
It just kept
back there, the jet ski kept going further, and I kept getting further this way, and I'm like, what?
My fiance won't go on jet skis anymore because of that day.
I don't even think Jenna ever got on a boat again.
I don't know. That was kind of spooky. That was scary.
But that was it. So
I tried to hang Christmas
I'll never be
lights
on
over
another
here.
roof,
Those are
but I'll
two
still
good
go jet skiing again. Jet skiing was so
great.
fun. I knew I wasn't gonna die, but I was really. I thought.
Well, when you're-
buy a new
big boy
jet
that
ski. Well, I wanted that one in the first place, but yeah,
The little guy got the big one.
seeing as how I weigh more than him and his fiance combined, logically, I think I should have gotten a bigger
Well,
one.
it was all Eric's fault, really, because Eric's the one that said, "Here, take this one. They
Yeah.
definitely gonna flip."
Big one.
Either way, we made it out. It was
Big up
great.
to the Coast Guard, the Chicago Coast Guard, because if it wasn't for them, I don't know what would
Hey,
happen.
I don't know
You'd
how they
still be in
found
the
that
water.
key.
And they found the
They
key.
found the
Really?
key.
Found the key after being stuck in the water for like 30 good minutes.
The waves
Wow.
were literally, they
And
had
they found
to
the key.
be 5
It was
feet.
amazing.
5
Oh, that's
feet.
crazy.
Yeah, the waves were great that day.
Oh man, it was terrible. It was
bad.
Like
It was
Jen, she's like started crying. Like as we're like they're telling us to go, you know, the Coast Guard, and so we're going back, and she's just constantly looking back. No, we can't leave. Dave."
I was hanging out in the back of it. I'm like, go ahead and drop her off. I'll hang out here. I'll be cool. But I was floating closer and closer to the, what's the line?
bricks?
The
The brick
post.
Oh,
The
yeah.
big wooden post.
Yeah, the post that they have before, like where you can swim inside.
Oh, yeah.
So right there.
It was that was kind of
So I was
Yeah, you were way
about
out.
to smack into that. I was like, well, I'll just buy Eric a new jet ski because I'm not dying with this jet ski.
Okay, so I would have to say my closest near-death experience, it was definitely extremely scary. I'm prior military, so I've been in a lot of combat situations, and this one wasn't. It wasn't an actual combat
I don't think I knew
situation.
that about you.
This was more leisure type thing. We were just out, and I won't mention the country just because it wasn't their fault. You know, it's the group. So
Pushing the country.
we were out there and having a great time. We were out just seeing the sights, and everything was great. And then we went back. We were leaving to go back to the bus, so they would take us, you know, back to where we needed to go. And out of nowhere, these guys, they were probably about, I'd say about 40 yards away. They just started throwing plastic bottles of water at us. You know, there was me, there was another guy. I'm 5'4", okay, just so you know. I mean, I know I look like a midget next to this guy, but I mean, I am a midget. I'm advertising for a female. I'm saying I'll put the jokes on myself before they come out. So
I will tell you, I actually Googled it. The average height of the average
what I
American
mean?
male. No, actually, Yeah, you were actually below that. It's actually 5'6". I was happy to know that I barely made it over.
Yeah.
So I'm actually tall for being a male.
You're definitely not tall.
No, according to Siri.
If I'm telling you,
That's
you
only
ain't tall, you ain't tall.
because Siri's pretty short. That's all.
Yeah. So anyways, so they start chucking these plastic bottles of water at us. And they're so far away that, you know, they're hitting 20, 30 feet before us, and they're just kind of skidding across the pavement. And no big deal, but there was 3 of us. There was me, okay, I'm 5'4", like I said, another guy who's shorter than me and scrawnier than I was, and then another guy who was taller, maybe about 5'10", but real skinny, super lanky, definitely not a person that you wanted to be in a combat zone of any sort with, because he just, we'll leave it at that. So the smaller guy out of the 3 of us turns around and starts to throw his hands up and says, "Hey, what are you doing?" You know, and I'm like, "Whoa, we're in a different country," you know. So the little guy throws his hands up, and you know, I just kind of look at him and I start to thinking, well, there's about 10 of them, and they're all just sitting on a picnic bench, okay? So I was like, "Man, come on, let's just go." You know, this is probably not the environment for us to get into. So we turn around and we're walking away, and next thing you know, you just hear a bunch of feet, okay? And I turn around, and all 10 of them are running at us full speed, you know? And at this point, I grew up, you know, in the areas that weren't the best, okay? So I know what's about to happen, okay?
It's go time.
So it is definitely go time. I look at them and I say, "Let's go." And we took off running. So as we take off running, we realized that there were about 10 more people running at us from that direction, okay?
Oh.
So we only had 2 options left. It was either left or right, okay? Well, to the left were a bunch of shops that were all closed, okay? And there was a whole block of shops. So there was no in-betweens, there's no alleyways to run through, there's nothing. It's just a big, huge building with a bunch of shops, okay? So you can't go that way. So we went to the right. Well, as we made our way to the right, there was about 10 more people running from that direction. And I swear
Sounds like a movie.
Yeah.
It sounds like a movie. I got the pictures to prove it though. It was not good. So
I've seen them. Brutal.
they surrounded us extremely fast, and there were so many of them. And so we were in Greece. Okay, the average person though is probably about 5'6" at most. Everybody is short, everybody's small, but there was 30 of these people, so it was just insane, you know. And none of them were speaking English. You don't know what's going on, and so they ran up to the smaller guy that was with us, and next thing you know, they shove him. Okay, and when they shove him, he trips over some scenery chain. Well, when he falls, he grabs the other guy that we were with and pulls him down. So when he falls to get his balance, he grabs me and pulls me down. So now we're all on the ground.
Domino effect.
Yeah, it was just like a domino effect.
That is like a movie.
as soon as these other 2 guys hit the ground, I seen it. They just start stomping on their heads and just hitting them with stuff, and it was really bad. And I hopped up real quick, okay? And I just went to start swinging, and then out of my peripheral vision right over here, I saw about this much of an arm with a brick, and it just smacked me right here in the side of my face. And instantly, I just seen black stars. At that point, I felt like I was just being electrocuted all over my body. Anybody who has been hit hard knows exactly what I mean.
Yeah.
They were hitting us with so many different objects, and I literally thought, I mean, you know how when they say, like, right before you pass, that you have flashbacks of all of your good memories, you know, and the only thing I seen in my head were my kids. So I was just extremely scared. I don't really know exactly how I got away, but somehow it had to be maybe because of all the blood. But there was so much blood, and the only thing I can remember is I had just bought a brand new polo sweater, cream colored, and there was just blood all over it. Well, at first I thought, let me take this shirt off before I get blood on it, but it was red by the time I took it off. So it was really bad. And then so my vision, okay, I used to wear glasses, okay, So right before this guy hit me with the brick, I went to go punch him. Well, before that, somebody actually grabbed my glasses and threw them on the ground. Okay, so now at this point, my vision was 450, 500. Okay, now I don't know, for those of you who know prescriptions, that means I couldn't see anything. Okay, I seen
like a movie. Everybody in a movie with the glasses always falling on the ground. Did you step on them too?
Right. No. They threw them on the ground. I mean, I seen them bust to pieces. I heard it. So. All I seen was colors. It was nighttime, so all I seen was colors. And at that point, I was done for.
I remember I got the call, and actually the call that I got was, I want to say a text message. That's how I found out. Text message with the pictures. And I literally, all I saw was, you know what, there's been a big breakout, Steve got jumped, and all these pictures came through, and I honestly I thought I was gonna get to the bottom and say he didn't make it.
So I somehow made it out of there, and a guy saw me and he's like, Slavo, is that you? I said, yeah. He's like, what happened? I said, man, we just got jumped by about all those people right there. There's just a crowd of people. So
I can't imagine.
The guy actually, he won a Navy Achievement Medal because he ran down in the middle of all the midst of it and scooped up those two. It was just like a movie.
So this is one of your guys that came in and scooped them up? Nice.
Right. He was a big guy. He was like 6'6", 260. Yeah, he ran down there, scooped both the guys up like this, from what I'm told, because I couldn't see anything. And he just started running. Well, I guess they had got jumped about 2 more times on the way back to the bus.
Oh gosh.
So it wasn't pleasant for them either. But so he told this other guy to take me. His name was Elmer. And as we're running back to the bus, somebody in an accent just said, "Hey, are you guys Americans?" And he's like, yeah, we're Americans. And at that point, I just kind of stopped and looked at him and was like, wait a minute. No, I don't know what you're talking about. So I just took off and I ran out of there, right. So
I don't speak English.
We got back to the bus, and I got up onto the bus, and it was literally like crickets. Everybody was being loud, and it just ceased, and everybody was just staring at me. And at that point, they wanted me to get back off of the bus because the ambulance got there. And at that point, I was like, no, I don't want to go to the hospital. Just take me back to the ship. I'll be fine. I'll deal with the doctors there, because I was just terrified. I didn't want to get back off the bus. So I felt safe on the bus, So
although the bus was in the middle of all the crowd.
Yeah, no, it wasn't in the middle of all the crowd.
A little bit of protection.
Well, yeah, because like I said, I just took off running, so I thankfully was headed in that direction.
Group, so it's going to be a little harder for them to attack a busload of people versus 3.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Right. So they took me to the hospital, and nobody speaks English. It was extremely scary. They're just poking me with all these needles and everything.
Didn't you say that it was like a real tiny room?
Yeah, the room was probably about the size of this room here. And for those of you who can't see it, it's probably only about 12 feet by about 10 feet. And it was sectioned off with like 4 sheets that were hanging from the ceiling, and those were the rooms that people were in.
So 4 patients in a 12 by 10 space.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. It was so
sheets to keep everything sterile. Huh?
Yeah, I guess it was so confined. It's like one doctor could just see everybody.
Was there more than one doctor?
I honestly don't remember.
No.
But nobody spoke English. I didn't know what anybody was saying. But they did take care of me. But by far, scariest moment of my life that I've ever had a chance to be involved in.
Yeah.
All right, well, we got that's crazy. We got time for one more? We'll do one more short one.
That'd be quick. Yeah.
Super short one. So this is this is real short. This is real short, but I can see this going either way. So the question is, would you rather be hot and stupid or smart and ugly?
Oh, okay.
Okay, now I realize hot is subjective.
Yeah, it can change based on whose opinion.
And smart is also subjective.
You know what? I'll be honest with you. I'd rather be smart than ugly. You know why I say that? Because growing up, going through high school, I was pretty popular, And I always used to think like the people in band and the people who did their studies, I always used to think that they were the losers of the group and that I was so much cooler than them. But you know, as you grow up and become an individual, you soon realize that those people are the cool people.
The nerds of high school
they are the cool people.
They're the cool people in the real world.
Yeah,
They run the world.
Yeah, hands down.
If I went back, I would go with that. I'd be a nerd. You know, it's less distractions. I mean, you can focus on things that you don't have to worry about this, that, or the other. You can actually get ahead early on in life.
Yeah, but you have to deal with like bullying, stuff
Sure.
like that.
Listen, everything's got good and bad.
I'm just saying,
that just toughens you up. That's all that is. That's how I looked at it. I was always happy and excited to be very intelligent because I could always figure out a way to still get what I want. Oh yeah, when I was younger, I was a nerd. Absolutely.
I'm kidding. See, I've known you a long time. Ever since you were, I didn't think of you as a nerd.
Well, that's just because that was my first time getting out of the Catholic school bubble.
Okay.
Was right around the time that I had met you. Like I was still going to boarding school, but being intelligent, I knew that I could always find whatever job I want to make as much money as I want. Or if nothing else, I've always been blessed with a mouthpiece that I'm good to finagle something.
There you go. There you go.
Is there an option of being brilliantly handsome and smart?
I mean, I was gonna say that's the boat I'm in.
Because I like to have my cake and eat it too. I'm just gonna be honest with you. I like to find a way to win.
I'm not gonna lie. When I was in high school, I was not the most popular kid. If you went to high school with me, you know that's true. But like I was blissfully unaware that I was a nerd. I was a
nerd. No
nerd.
one ever wants to. You're in high school. Even the nerds don't want to be nerds.
Yeah.
I mean, let's just be honest.
Like
they know they're nerds and they still think they're not.
But that's because we surround ourselves with alike people.
Yeah, it's true.
The nerds hang out with the nerds, so nobody feels like a nerd.
So I just had no clue that I was a nerd.
Yeah.
But you know, so here's my thing. I can see this going either way. Here's my opinion. If you're smart and ugly, at least you're smart. So you're gonna run something at some point. You're gonna make.
Bill Gates is smart enough.
Yeah.
He's doing okay.
Good example.
But if you're hot and stupid, you're also gonna be successful. I mean, hot gets you a long way.
But if you go to Greece at the wrong time of year, might not help you out.
It's all over.
So, and I don't know if we want to go this route too, but I don't really hang out at these places, but some people that try to get off on their looks, it only takes you so far because when you start getting older,
it's true.
Or if you get beat up in Greece again,
it's true.
But you managed to pull it off. You're cute still, man.
At least if you're hot and stupid, you don't like. I feel like if you're stupid, you don't really realize that you're stupid.
No, you don't.
So then you're like blissfully unaware. You're like, oh, life is awesome.
Which is the typical blonde jokes.
Yeah. So I can see it going either way. If I had to choose, I think I would choose to be smart. This is an interesting question to ask for both men and women, because the viewpoints and it shouldn't be this way, but the viewpoints and the thinking behind it is completely different when you talk to a man versus talking to a woman. What is your opinion? Well, we'll end on that. What do you think? Would you rather be hot and stupid, or smart and ugly, or like in the middle of both?
I want the best of both.
Everybody's gonna want the best of both. Right. So no, you're either.
So if you had to choose,
hot and stupid, or smart and ugly.
Yeah, if you had to choose,
your options.
If you had to choose,
I'll go with the story of my life.
But.
And it's not hot enough. Never once in my life been called hot, except by my wife. I love you.
All right, well, there you go.
I gave her a bunch of shots today.
You did.
So, yeah, nice job. All right, gentlemen. Well, this was our first segment of We Say Things.
We Say Things.
If you liked it, hit the like button, subscribe to our channel. We're going to put more stuff out like this, so you'll see more. If you want to submit questions or topics, you can look us up on Twitter at NMG_inspire. You can look us up on Facebook at
www.facebook/NMG1994.
There you go. And we'll be on Reddit soon. We'll start a subreddit. We'll keep you updated on that. So submit your topics with the hashtag WeSayThings, and we'll talk about them. And like I said, we're interesting people. We say interesting things. So once again, this was sponsored by Bridge2Life Smart Card Fundraiser. So check that out. We'll put the link in the description.
Buy a smart card today.
And
help save a life.
You guys will be able to get involved in some pretty cool stuff. It's cool. So, all right. We're out. Boom!